So, Season 5 is underway, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say the fireworks are beyond expectations and are probably one of the most fun things I've experienced in a video game. But there's far more to Season 5 than shooting off fireworks in celebration of sinking an enemy ship or taunting the emissary you're chasing across the seas with a chicken firework. In this video, we're going to take a look at what has actually changed in Season 5 and talk about how some of the new features feel in the game now that people have had chance to use them for a few days. We're also going to talk about the storage crate and the quest board situation and how that affects the game, so stay tuned for that. Hello pirates, my name is Ellie and I post regular Sea of Thieves videos on this channel. If you want to stay up to date with the game, then remember to subscribe to my channel and click the bell down below for notifications of when I put up a new video. So Season 5 is here and the community are well and truly getting involved with all the new features. I've had a good few sessions on the seas since the update and I wanted to talk about how the game feels now that things are starting to settle with the new content. Fireworks are a big new feature in the game and they really are very satisfying to fire. I've seen some pretty crazy videos on social media of huge coordinated fireworks displays and it really does look incredible. The visual and sound design on these are absolutely amazing and Rare nailed it. I can imagine the New Year's celebrations on the seas are going to be quite the spectacle. In my own gameplay sessions, we've used the fireworks a few times now along with the flares, mainly to see what they look like and enjoy them on the first day that they came out. I have to admit that since the first day of the update, I've not used them a huge amount. I mean, sort of occasionally firing them off if we find new ones that we haven't seen before or our favourites. I did use the flares yesterday to help with some shadow skeletons in the raw, and that was pretty cool to see that working as expected. I also used a firework accidentally against a skeleton sloop and it did set it on fire, so I guess that confirms that commendation for that can be done by shooting a skeleton ship and it doesn't need to be another player ship. I think the community will come up with really great ways to use them. Perhaps over Christmas and New Year they will see a small resurgence every year in firework use, but in general I think it'll be a passing feature that people use occasionally and it doesn't really change the overall feel of the game, except for it being more fun, but it's definitely a great addition nonetheless. Burying treasure is a feature that has been widely requested, and now that it's in the game I've seen some content creators create some pretty incredible treasure maps. However, there has been some concern over the way the system works. So for those of you who don't know, if you post a map to the quest board, you're relying on other players completing your map in order to get that bonus renown when you log in next. However, it's come to light that you actually get this bonus renown if the server that you buried the loot on shuts down or you get server merged. This has been confirmed by the developers in this tweet. This means that you can never really be sure if someone's actually dug up the treasure or if the server that you buried on just died and Rare gave you the bonus anyway. Now don't get me wrong, it would be lame if you buried the treasure, server merged, and then for whatever reason that treasure was just lost. But getting a renown bonus and reputation whether someone digs it up or not also doesn't really feel great. I do wonder if they will perhaps improve on this mechanic going forward. Perhaps there are new features coming in future seasons which will enhance the burying and quest board features. It'll be really nice to see them iterate on this feature. It feels like a good foundation, you know? I've seen some really cool ideas about how this quest board could be used in the community, such as it being a global quest board for people to use across the whole Sea of Thieves rather than just being server specific. Now obviously that's quite a different project development wise and I think it would be extremely difficult for Rare to achieve this, but it just feels that if it's server specific it's just your loot is good for 48 hours and then it's gone, and the chance of people digging stuff up especially in a few weeks or few months time is just pretty slim. So then I feel like you're just being given renown and rep for seemingly nothing. And also once you're max rank with I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if anything changes in future seasons with this mechanic. I think it feels like a very good foundation for something that they're going to build on and iterate on, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it. My only other issue is that on the average session we always end up with a load of message in a bottle quests, and I know you can like just not pick them up, but you know, I still wish there was a way to remove them from the quest wheel. It's a shame that they didn't overhaul the quest inventory UI along with this update. It feels like the addition of yet more maps, you can end up with pretty overwhelming quest wheel when you're not even on a voyage. We were doing an Athena voyage yesterday and I mean we literally had about 3 pages worth of quests on our inventory wheel and it just gets too much. I like that there's so much to do, but I wish we had more control over what was in our inventory wheel. It would be really good if you could remove quests from there. I know that you can just not pick up bottles, but when quick looting barrels it can sometimes be hard to avoid. However, that could just be me. This is just my personal experience and opinion, obviously. It'll be interesting to see how other people feel about this. Let me know in the comments. Are you burying the treasure you find or are you just selling it for gold? The Canon Row Boats added to the game are actually a lot harder to find than I thought they were going to be. I thought for sure we were going to have the spawn rate upped for the update and so people could easily get hold of these and play around with them, but I was actually wrong. They've been really cautious about this, and to be honest, I think that's probably a good thing. We've only found maybe 2 in the time since we've been playing. I think we found one yesterday actually as well, so that's 3. And we've not really had the chance to use one in a tucking or stealth situation. We did use one on a Meg and on a Scallion yesterday. They're definitely very situational. I've managed to catch some streams from top creators using these, and it does look really fun for the whole tucking and sneaking situation. I'm glad they're hard to find though, because I feel like they could have had the potential to change the meta completely, and with a lower spawn rate I think it's much more balanced than I thought it would be, so that's good. Put it this way, we've played for a good few sessions since the update and we've not been attacked by a crazy Canon Row Boat play or anything like that. So I think the worry that solo players had about, you know, getting crapped on by a Canon Row Boat player is quite unlikely. At least it seems to be less likely than I think people were worrying about. Rowboat plays with regular rowboats will most definitely still be a thing too, so at least it's not made the regular rowboat or the harpoon rowboat obsolete. Also, I still think that the harpoon rowboat is more helpful than a Canon rowboat, but that's just me. What do you guys think about Canon rowboats? Have you had any awesome Canon rowboat plays? Let me know down below. Now finally, I want to talk about the new storage crate feature. This was most definitely the feature I was most worried about. I was super concerned that it was going to make supplies too easy to steal from other players and that it would completely change the way we use storage crates and how we deal with other ships. However, it seems that the way it works is actually surprisingly well thought out. This kind of feature definitely had the potential to completely break the game, but to be honest, it's balanced pretty damn well. Good job, Rare and the Insiders. I was mainly worried about the potential for stealing other crews' supplies or for your own supplies to be stolen super fast. However, it appears that's not at all the case. Because of how fast you can loot an island on spawn and how quickly you can stock up your ship, I've seen so many ships with a ridiculous amount of supplies. Our own ship is almost always really well stocked since the update. And when it came time to leave the servers, we started to load up our karma crates, and I was amazed at how long it took to unload a full barrel with a storage crate, and I mean it takes forever. Like if you've got more than 200 cannonballs, which is quite easy to get since the update, you are literally there for a while. Essentially, the fast loading of your own supplies and being able to be well stocked counteracts the ability for other people to steal your supplies quickly. So you can still grab pockets of supplies, and to be honest, it's much quicker for you to do that as the attacker than to jump aboard with a storage crate or use the one on their boat and try and loot their super stock barrels. I'm super relieved about this because in a previous video of mine I had expressed concern about this feature and how I was worried it was going to crap all over new players. I still think this feature has fundamentally changed the game though. Already it feels much easier to load out an outpost or to quickly loot an island when you're done with whatever you were there for. On a side note, you can also store and take from regular wood crates, fruit crates and cannibal crates, and you can also use storage crates to move supplies around these crates and barrels on your ship. It definitely makes supply management much easier. Making karma crates is much easier, even if it is a little bit slower. I think because only one person can be doing the unloading and loading with the storage crate at one time, it can make it feel quite different. What do you guys think about the new storage crate loading and unloading? Do you think it's a good addition now that you've had a chance to play around with it? I know there are far more features that were added with Season 5, like sitting, stealing maps from other crews' voyage tables, and that music is awesome, by the way, and the quest board, etc. But I do feel like most of these features are just part of the quality of life part of this update, which is a big part. While they're not much on their own, they do bring a huge amount of variety to the game now. Things like sitting on the edge of your boat while you're just cruising around makes you feel more immersed. Rats running around a ship's deck while you sink other players. Rats running around barrels while you're tucked on an enemy boat. There's a lot of features on this update that just help make the world feel more alive and you feel more immersed, and it's great. All in all, I think Season 5 is the kind of season that on initial reaction from the features added, it doesn't feel like a major content update, but it feels like an update that builds a foundation for something bigger that's likely to come in a future season. Speaking of which, Sea of Thieves released a Christmas song the day after the update dropped, and if you haven't checked it out, then I highly recommend heading over to their YouTube channel or finding it on Spotify or iTunes or whatever. It's one of the most epic songs they've ever released, in my opinion. There are some members of the community, including myself, who believe this song and music video is hinting towards some big event coming in the future on Sea of Thieves. Let me know what you think in the comments. This, along with foundation of quality of life features added in Season 5, has me really excited for Season 6 and beyond. The next event happening in Sea of Thieves is Festival of Giving, and that kicks off on the 13th of December. Until then, you've got plenty of time to play around with all the new features, and I'd love to hear your stories of adventures on the seas. If you like the video, then please do leave a like and hit the subscribe button to be notified when I put out a new video. I really do appreciate the support on my channel over the last few weeks. I also stream on Twitch 4 nights a week, so drop me a follow over on twitch.tv/EllieBoop to be notified when I go live. We've also got a great community Discord starting, so if you want to join in with our growing community, then there's a link in the comments. That's it for this one. I'll see you on the seas.